The South China Sea is a vast and strategically important body of water. It stretches from the Strait of Malacca in the southwest to the Taiwan Strait in the northeast. The area is home to a complex web of territorial disputes involving China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. These disputes have long been a source of regional tension. They also have the potential to escalate into conflict. The stakes are high for all involved. The South China Sea is a vital waterway for global trade. It also holds significant reserves of oil and natural gas. The South China Sea is a crucial shipping route for goods traveling between Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. In addition, the region is rich in natural resources. There are potentially vast reserves of oil and gas beneath its seabed. These resources are another point of contention among the claimant states. The South China Sea is also home to important fishing grounds. These fishing grounds provide livelihoods for millions of people in the region. However, overfishing and environmental degradation are growing concerns. They threaten the sustainability of this vital resource. The complex interplay of economic interests, territorial disputes, and strategic competition makes the South China Sea a focal point of geopolitical tension. Finding a peaceful and sustainable solution to these challenges is crucial, not only for the region but also for the world. The South China Sea is a vital artery of global trade. An estimated 1/3 of all international maritime trade passes through its waters annually. This trade is valued at trillions of dollars. The sea lanes connect major economies like China, Japan, South Korea, and Singapore with markets in Europe and beyond. The region is also rich in natural resources. It holds around 11 billion barrels of oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. However, territorial disputes make exploration complex and potentially dangerous. The fisheries provide food security and livelihoods for millions. The region accounts for a significant portion of global fish production. Given its significance, the South China Sea is a key area of interest for major powers. The South China Sea is not just an economic hub, it is also a region of immense strategic importance. For China, it represents a crucial gateway to the wider world and a vital route for energy imports and exports. Control over the South China Sea would give China a commanding presence in Southeast Asia and enhance its power projection. The United States views it as a critical part of the global commons, seeking to maintain freedom of navigation. The U.S. Navy regularly conducts operations here, much to China's displeasure. China has been rapidly expanding its naval capabilities and building artificial islands in disputed areas. These islands are equipped with military facilities, raising concerns about China's intentions. ASEAN members like Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia have overlapping claims and are wary of China's assertiveness. ASEAN has been trying to negotiate a code of conduct with China, but progress has been slow. A web of territorial disputes. The territorial disputes in the South China Sea are complex and multifaceted. China claims almost the entire South China Sea as its own, based on historical maps and documents. It demarcates its claim with the 9-dash line, which encompasses most of the region. However, this claim is disputed by other countries and is not recognized under international law. The Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan also have overlapping claims in the South China Sea. These claims are based on various factors, including proximity, historical usage, and geographic features. The Spratly Islands, the Paracel Islands, and Scarborough Shoal are among the most hotly contested areas. The Philippines in particular has been vocal in challenging China's claims. In 2016, the Philippines won a landmark case at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague. The court ruled that China's 9-dash line claim had no legal basis. However, China rejected the ruling, calling it null and void. These overlapping claims have led to numerous incidents and standoffs in the South China Sea. Chinese and Vietnamese vessels have clashed over fishing rights and oil exploration. China has also been accused of harassing Filipino fishermen and blocking access to traditional fishing grounds. A diplomatic breakthrough? In a surprising development, the Philippines and China have recently engaged in a diplomatic initiative aimed at easing tensions in the South China Sea. Filipino President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has taken a more conciliatory approach towards China than his predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte. This shift in policy has opened up a window of opportunity for dialogue and cooperation. The Philippines has proposed establishing a direct communication line between the two countries' coast guards. This would help prevent misunderstandings and accidental clashes at sea. The proposal has been welcomed by China, which has expressed its willingness to explore the idea further. This diplomatic initiative comes at a time of heightened tensions between China and the United States. The Biden administration has maintained a tough stance on China's activities in the South China Sea. It has conducted freedom of navigation operations and provided military support to allies in the region. The Philippines' decision to engage with China directly, rather than relying solely on the United States, signals a potential shift in the regional dynamics. It remains to be seen whether this diplomatic overture will lead to a more concrete agreement on managing the disputes. China's calculated move? China's positive response to the Philippines' proposal has raised eyebrows among some observers. Some analysts believe that China may be motivated by a desire to drive a wedge between the Philippines and the United States. By engaging in direct talks with the Philippines, China could be seeking to undermine U.S. influence in the region. Others suggest that China may be genuinely interested in de-escalating tensions in the South China Sea. The country faces a host of domestic challenges, including a slowing economy and social unrest. Beijing may be seeking a more stable external environment to focus on its internal issues. China could also be using the diplomatic initiative as a way to buy time and consolidate its position in the South China Sea. By engaging in talks, China can project an image of a responsible stakeholder while continuing to strengthen its military presence in the region. It is still too early to determine China's true intentions. However, its willingness to at least entertain the Philippines' proposal suggests a degree of pragmatism and a recognition that escalating tensions are in no one's interest. Charting a course for the future. The recent diplomatic efforts between the Philippines and China offer a glimmer of hope for the future of the South China Sea. However, significant challenges remain. It is crucial for all parties involved to approach the situation with caution and a commitment to peaceful dialogue. One key step is to establish a clear and binding code of conduct for the South China Sea. This code should address issues such as freedom of navigation, resource management, and dispute resolution mechanisms. A robust code of conduct would provide a framework for managing tensions and preventing conflicts. It is also essential to address the underlying issues driving the disputes, such as historical grievances, resource competition, and strategic mistrust. This requires a sustained and multifaceted approach that involves diplomacy, economic cooperation, and cultural exchange. The international community has a vital role to play in supporting peaceful resolution in the South China Sea. Countries outside the region can encourage dialogue, provide technical assistance, and help build confidence among the claimant states. The future of the South China Sea hinges on the ability of all parties to prioritize dialogue, cooperation, and a shared vision of a peaceful and prosperous region.